Ohio Governor Mike DeWine tested negative for coronavirus just hours after another test registered a positive result, raising concerns over the accuracy of COVID tests. Governor DeWine first tested positive yesterday morning using a rapid antigen test, which allows for results in minutes, but has been shown to be less accurate. That test was part of the protocol for those greeting President Trump on the tarmac at an airport in Cleveland. Governor DeWine then returned to Columbus and took a second test from Ohio State University's Medical Center, this time using a more standard procedure known as PCR, and the results came back negative in the evening. That second test, which looks at the specific genetic material for the virus, is known to be more sensitive and accurate, but is more time intensive, and it requires samples to be processed in a lab. DeWine's sample was run twice and came back negative both times. Jonathan Lemire, you were on that trip. You're with the president right now, traveling. This test was administered because Governor DeWine was going to greet President Trump on the tarmac there in Ohio. What were the ripple effects of that news through Air Force One?
Good morning, Willie. I'm today in New Jersey. Don't be too jealous. Not far from the president's Bedminster Golf Club, where he is spending a 3-day weekend. But you're right. Yesterday, we landed here late last night from Ohio. And perhaps now in the first line of my career obituary will note that I was in the room when the president said Thailand. But more than that, it's the governor and that initial test that shadowed the entire trip. The president spent the day in Ohio, which in itself, of course, was noteworthy. This is a state that he won handily in 2016. But this time around, the polling shows him about even with Joe Biden. It shows you President Trump's diminished standing in this race, that he has to spend time, resources, energy in states like Ohio. Yesterday, he was in Texas last week, having to play defense. And it was as we were about to take off from Washington on Air Force One when we got news that the governor had tested positive and he no longer would be able to be there on the tarmac. So when we landed, of course, he wasn't there. The president was greeted in Cleveland by other officials, other representatives, and he addressed it briefly, saying that he thought the governor would, hopefully would be okay. But it goes to show you the entire day. It was centered around a speech. The president touted his economic policies. He toured a Whirlpool factory in Ohio to tout American manufacturing and its rebirth under his watch, although, of course, American manufacturing sector has really stalled in the last year or two. But he shows he can never outrun the virus. Everything he was trying to do yesterday, and that included a fundraiser as well, was shadowed by this. And then, of course, last night, after we landed here in New Jersey, we got word that the second test proved negative. But it raises questions about the accuracy of these tests and includes those at the White House. So remember, in Texas last week, Congressman Gohmert was going to be on Air Force One. He wasn't because he tested positive. It seems like subsequent tests have indicated that as well. But this calls into question everyone who comes into contact with the president. That includes his staff. That includes officials on the road. That includes reporters at the White House before they board Air Force One. I took that same test yesterday that Governor DeWine did in Ohio. We're all screened. And now there have been a number of high-profile cases, Governor DeWine the biggest, but also with staffers and reporters where there's been a false negative at first or a false positive. And it calls into question just how accurate and safe all these tests are for anyone, including those traveling with the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, there have been questions for some time about these rapid tests and how accurate they are. I do know that, Willie, that Mike Barnicle is already thinking ahead. Even after the pandemic's over, he may get one of these kits, and anytime he's invited to do something, he may do a DeWine.
It's a good out.
And
yeah.
Take the test. Tag positive. I cannot go to your bridge game, and then take the real test a little bit later on and get out of it. So Mike DeWine got out of being with the president. Not that he would want to do that, but those tests are, again, especially since you have those tests that have proven to be unreliable around the president of the United States. You wonder if there's not a better way to do it. And the fact that the testing, Gene Robinson, that's being used around the president of the United States is so inaccurate tells you how long. Well, first of all, how dangerous that is for the country, that our leadership can't even be tested safely, but also how poorly our testing regimen is even 6 months into this.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.